Chapter 26. Continuation. Judging from the damage that the musket deals, it's no wonder that spiders die from a single shot. Iha thought as he approached the dead giant spider's corpse to pick up the items. Give me a usable item. What is it? He would say. Did I raise the sink too much? Why is everything so realistic? He was amazed at how the perception inside the game changed after increasing synchronization. After rummaging through the monster's remains, Iha was surprised to find nothing. No loot. I don't feel bad anymore. If items don't fall from every monster, the drop rate is 50% or even less. Since I didn't get anything from the 2 spiders I just killed. 10.5 hours left. Let's have some fun once, decided Iha, calculating the possibilities and time of completing the quest. It was the dead of night. Players who bet on Doom and Ha were waiting in the wings to see which of them won and took the winnings. It's already been 2 hours. I think I've lost my silver coin. Who knows? If the guy's dead, he's not coming back here. Let's go check it out on the sly, suggested a user with gray hair tied in a bun. There were 2 other guys next to him. But if we run into spiders and bats along the way, the guys were careful. We'll move fast, but we'll check and we won't fight. If we reduce the glow of the torches, everything will be fine. Only after finding a corpse one of us will be able to get his winnings, insisted the gray-haired man. I also bet. I'll go check it out, one of the guys agreed. He may have escaped or is hiding somewhere, so I'm with you, too. The second one joined them, and 3 users went to the forest to find out the fate of Iha. However, the silver-haired gambler wasn't only concerned about winning the argument. Since that guy went hunting in the woods alone, I think he spent a lot of money in the game. If it's dead, then all the items have dropped from it, so I have nothing to lose. Most of all, I want to pick up his upper part of the equipment. It looks expensive, but the hooded boots also looked different. It's a good thing those 2 idiots followed me. I can use them as human shields, Greylock's thought, pondering his own selfish plan. They wandered through the forest in pitch darkness, trying to find the musketeer. I don't see anything. It gives me the creeps. 2 users commented that they went after the villain on the minimum prices. Let's use fire magic to explore the area, the gray-haired user suggested, and launched several fireballs into the air. Fire arrow, he said, and the arrows flew in an unknown direction into the depths of the forest, briefly illuminating everything around. All 3 of them suddenly noticed a strange thing. In this scary dark forest teeming with monsters, suddenly there was no one. Nothing. Yeah, no spiders, no bats. Shouldn't there be at least a couple of them? The players were surprised and continued to look around. Monsters. No one saw it. The white-haired mage asked. Not a single one. I'm not. His companions replied. It's strange that there aren't any monsters, but more importantly, where did that guy go? Where did he die that the objects that fell from him are nowhere to be seen? The magician was thinking about his plans. Equipment of this level will cost approximately 1 gold coin. The magician calculated the profit from items not yet found. Let's go even deeper, the mage suggested to his companions. And he had only one goal in mind. I'll find these items. Suddenly, one of the magician's companions notices something strange. Hey, everyone look here. He shouts to his companions. What is it? The swamp. All 3 of them thought when they saw a huge green liquid accumulated in one place in front of them. Where does the swamp come from in the forest without light? Was it here from the very beginning? The players were surprised. I don't know, but what's inside? Something sticky. Suddenly the magician realized what it was and shouted. 100. Wait, this is not a swamp, but the corpses of spiders and bats. You get this viscous substance from the bodies of monsters. The players were surprised. From the realization of the picture they saw, the white-haired magician threw up. And the master, now is not the time to throw up. One of his companions was holding him. I have a bad feeling. Let's get out of here soon, the archer suggested. At the same time, the players heard a loud screech from the monster. In the viscous green substance, something moved. Master, come to your senses. Was that the sound of a monster? Suddenly there were a lot more sounds. They sounded from different directions, and a lot of red eyes began to appear in the dark. The players were scared. The monsters have been revived. Why all at the same time? The players were shocked. May I die? If there was such a big respawn, then that type killed such a bunch at once. While Greylocks was thinking about this, all 3 of them were waiting for their punishment from heaven. The monsters surrounded them in a ring and got closer and closer. At the Musketeer Academy, meanwhile, Headmaster Bezbrov was thinking about his one and only student, Iha. As he sat at his blue tablecloth table, sipping a drink from a large iron mug, he thought, time is almost up. Would it really fail? But then his attention was drawn to a stranger who came into the office. In his greeting style, the headmaster pointed the gun at him from behind. Don't move. Keep quiet. Just breathe or your head will blow up. said the director. Are you back to your old ways? Iha turned to him. The director was surprised. His eyes widened and he could only say something unintelligible. How? This is what you asked for. Iha tossed a large bag in front of the director. The paws of red spiders and the teeth of vampire bats. I think there are more than enough of them there. Iha smiled at his mentor as he stood dumbfounded, unable to hide his surprise. They went to the headmaster's office and sat down at the desk. The loot Iha had brought from the dark forest was spread out on the table, and the headmaster and his student were sitting opposite each other on both sides of the table. Well, it's commendable that you managed to manage by the time the director scattered all the paws and teeth out of the bag. And this is your praise? Iha asked irritably as the director pondered and tried to figure out how the brash boy managed to do this. You'll have to kill 500 or even more creatures to collect the right amount of items, even if he shortened his reload time by charging the barrel without a ramrod. It would take him 8 hours to reload for a minute and fire 500 rounds. There wouldn't be enough time even if he hunted all night. How did it happen? The director did not understand. After glancing first at the objects and then at Iha himself, he remained silent. He seriously shot 500 critters. This sucker, Bezbravi wondered. The director was the first to break the silence. He took a sip from his mug and said, Good job. At the same time, Iha received a notification from the system. The quest Forest Without Light is completed. Level of intimacy with Musket Academy head Brown Bezbrov increased by 30%. For exceeding the required conditions, the proximity level is increased by another 5%. The feat level for the Kingdom of Pubile has been increased by 30 points. For exceeding the required conditions, the feat level for the Kingdom of Pubile has been increased by another 5%. The notice read, the job was done. Oh, what else is overfulfilling the required conditions? Noticed Iha. The director continued his speech. I don't know how many times you've had to shoot, but it looks like you've had enough practice. The director flipped a silver coin in one small, barely noticeable movement of his hand and he picked it up immediately. Thank you. I also gave the mentor a gift. Notification from the system. Received 1 silver coin. Acquired the skill technique of honed hand movement. Luo. The skill has been adjusted. Show me its description. And got a new skill and went to the description window, where the abilities and effects of the skill were indicated in more detail. Beginner's perfect hand movement technique. A skilled musketeer always accurately calculates how much gunpowder you need to fill up. Keep your senses sharp at your fingertips at all times. Effect. For 5 minutes, the cooldown time is reduced to 30 seconds. Mana 100. Recovery time 6 hours. The cooldown time is 30 seconds. Moreover, the effect lasts 5 minutes. Iha was amazed by the new abilities and hurried to complete another task. What do I do next? Iha asked. The director cleared his throat and, blushing slightly, said in a low voice, For starters, how did you manage to complete the task? Excuse me. The musketeer did not understand the question. It's impossible for a sucker like you to bring so many items. Maybe you bought them somewhere. The director asked again. That's what you're talking about. Iha smiled and put his elbows on the table and leaned a little closer. I've combined my techniques, Iha said. Chapter 27. A couple of hours ago in a dark forest, Iha killed the spiders and bats one by one. After crouching down next to another corpse and not finding any items, Iha was upset. It's pretty damn inefficient. I can't manage at this rate and time, he said, and began to ponder. I don't have a single skill, he thought, and for a few minutes fantasized about a big machine gun. Killing them one at a time isn't enough time. I have 3 different skills: Calm Heart, Bayonet Strike, Musket Mastery. Went through all my skills and I can kill one thing in one shot. It is impossible to attack several people at the same time. Can Po try to line up the monsters and punch them all through? No. How could a bullet go through so many monsters? Moreover, the biggest problem is that after killing 4 of the creatures, I only dropped 1 item. If only I had the skill to attack an area. I can't say that there are no ways to solve the problem at all. Several roads intersect here, and there isn't a single place so perfect for attacking an area like this, decided Iha after studying the entire map. Mages will probably have a couple of similar skills, Iha thought as he recalled the Ice Mage Ram Hwa Jong. At times like these, I envy the other classes. After all, the musketeer has no skills to attack the area, at least at my level. However, the gunpowder smoke I used during the Golden Eagle quest wasn't a skill. But I do remember that the wolves ran away because of him. Iha just had a sinister idea. Skill. Maybe it's worth it once. Vuga Gagashenki. Try out this method. Yeehaw was standing in the pose of a villain from an old Wild Texas movie, preparing to execute one of his most desperate ideas. Great. Preparations are complete, and I checked that there are no other players nearby. Well, is it time? Yeehaw was digging near a tree stump in the middle of a small center of several trails. Then he stretched out, bumped into the spider, and quickly ran straight for it. One first, Yeehaw shouted and dodged the spider's attack, pointing his bayonet knife at it. Bayonet strike. The musketeer stabbed the insect and it screamed. Shout, mentally asked Yeehaw. Even louder. Other spiders and bats began to converge on the screams of their fellow man. The victim did his part, and the musketeer drew his bayonet with a flourish, spattering green and sticky blood. Now, I will specially dispel the spider blood. I'll make you chase me. And I quotel el run. Almost all the monsters of the forest were chasing Musketeer, who was running through the forest thicket. Well, the research has been successfully attracted, but somehow there are too many of them. If they catch me, I'm dead. The monsters were already beginning to overtake the musketeer, and he began to consider whether to start defending himself. From a distance, you can slowly start attacking. Otherwise, they'll really catch me. However, am I going to let myself get caught? Decided Yeehaw and turned on the 10th speed, running away as fast as he could. Runner's euphoria. Stop it, he shouted. Ahead, the musketeer saw the stump he had been working on earlier. Almost there. The end of the game is coming soon. Running at full speed to the destination, he gracefully jumped behind a tree stump and aimed his musket. Calm heart, and Haw shot at the powder that was in the device on the stump, and in a moment iron bullets began to fly out at full speed, right at the monsters. Everything exploded and turned into a meat grinder. I knew it. It exploded like a claymore. Haw was also happy. Note, a claymore is a weapon that detonates approximately 700 pieces of 3mm iron balls and turns enemies into Swiss cheese using the kinetic energy from the explosion. Yeehaw breathed a sigh of relief. The firelight from the recent blast still illuminated the trees. I tried to cram gunpowder where possible, so the explosion was much stronger than I thought. Almost hit me even though I was 8 meters from the epicenter. But be that as it may, I did it. Happy and Haw, already in the director's office at the moment. Bah. The director was surprised to hear this. Yes, it was a bomb called Claymore due to the fact that I did everything in a hurry. It did not have a fountain. However, the more than 100 iron balls I carried with me were enough to drive the creatures into one place. Yeehaw explained his plan. The director sipped his drink again. Claymore, this is really very interesting. Bezbravi smiled ominously. Chapter 28. Yeehaw and the headmaster continued to drink tea in his academy office. Very interesting. The director continued his speech. Thank you, Yeehaw replied. The director thought for a moment and then added, however, is this a suitable fighting style for a musketeer? This question caught Yeehaw off guard. The task I gave you was to improve your skills as a musketeer, Bezbravi said menacingly. That's true, but there were also quite a few monsters that I killed by shooting. Yeehaw replied calmly. Let's say it's true, but don't be conceited, the director said, rocking back and forth in his chair. Yes, of course. Yeehaw smiled. By the way, what role do you think the musketeer plays? Bezbravi asked, getting up from the table. What do you mean? Yeehaw asked as he turned towards the director, who was standing in front of the shuttered window where the sunlight was coming in. Well, for example, imagine a large-scale invasion of monsters from 20 years ago. Bezbravi began, and Yeehaw suddenly remembered. The war that was mentioned on the home page of the official website of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Is it about this war? The war that took place 20 years ago, the clash of the demon army with the human alliance. It was said that both sides had truly outstanding commanders. It doesn't matter if it's a war between humans and demons or an invasion of monsters, because the result is, it all depends on the commander's ability to analyze the battlefield. Therefore, the role that a musketeer should play is only one. And Haw, remembering the history of the war, which Bezbrav spoke about, decided that he had found the right answer. This is targeted shooting, he said firmly and without hesitation. Well-aimed shooting, the director repeated, turning to Yeehaw. In the event of an emergency, people have a procedure for transferring command. Even if you lose a commander in the war, the deputy commander will replace him and the battle will continue. What about the monsters? They wouldn't have been able to build such a system. After eliminating the commander, the rest of us panic. At such a moment, it would be most effective to launch a large-scale air attack. So did Haw. Bezbravi looked at him out of the corner of his eye and listened, and then said indistinctly, thanks to this, we were able to establish this academy. What did you just say? Yeehaw asked. It doesn't matter, just thinking out loud, Bezbravi replied, sitting down again in his chair at the table. Oh, very well. Iha replied. Since you know everything, there's no need to explain anything else. With that, Beardless K and Ha received a new quest notification. Quest, Iha said. Notification from the system. Hidden Potential 1. During the Second Great War of Humans against Demons, young kobolds filled in for the commander in minor skirmishes. For their contribution, they could become the leaders of their own tribes. If the Third Great War against the demons breaks out, they will be able to lead the monsters. Destroy the head of the kobold tribe Haywit, which is located near the capital of Ailstock. Kobolds are tricky and there are many of them, so be careful. Objective: destroy the kobold chief Haywit Ka. Reward: increased affinity level with Bezbrov by 10%. Plus 10 to feet level for the kingdom of Pubiel. Well, of course Bezbravi suddenly said, and the description of the quest changed dramatically. I received a notification. The quest description has been changed. Quest conditions have been changed. Changing the quest description and conditions. Musketeer thought. New terms and conditions. It's still a little early for that kid. But maybe we should trust him with this. If not done with a finger, then he will not lose his life. Objective: destroy the kobold chief Haywit Ka. Reward: 30% increase in affinity with the Beardless, 10% increase in affinity with the Holy Knight Squad. Plus 20 feet points for the kingdom of Pubiel. Conditions for losing: death, reaching level 30, completing a team quest. In case of failure, hope of the godless destroyed. Return to the original conditions and the content of the quest. Read the new terms and description. Failure conditions. What's the big deal with the difficulty level? More than that, I didn't even use the bidding skill. Why does he change the quest at will? Angry and Ha. Just the kobold slaying quest, it's already too difficult for my level. And now, is it time to calmly drink seagulls? Iha thought as he watched his director, who didn't even blink an eye and was calmly enjoying his tea. Will I fail if I die in one go, build a team, or reach level 30? This means that I must solo kill a monster that is worth hunting as a team when I reach level 30. Moreover, this isn't an ordinary kobold, but a leader. And what else are the hopes of Bezbrov? No explanation. While Iha was thinking about this, the director glared at him. Don't blush so much and expect something from me. Iha yelled in his head. Hell, it's safe to say that this quest will be ad nauseamingly difficult. The director was distracted from pessimistic thoughts and Ha. Don't think too much, kid. No, he said. Iha came to his senses and the director continued. This requires the targeted shooting you mentioned. You just need to knock off the head of the head and the matter is over. The quest is by no means easy. It's dangerous. However, it exudes the same strong steepness. And Ha decided. I agree. He answered. Hoo. Great, get going. The director ordered. Got it. Iha responded cheerfully and ran off to meet new adventures. After the musketeer had disappeared through the door, Bezbravi spoke softly. I have my hopes set on you. Musketeer had already left the academy and was thinking about what to do next while walking around the city. One thing is good, this quest has no time limits, so my experience bar needs to be filled to 99% before I kill a chapter, right? What is Bezbrov's true face? He said that he was able to start an academy because of this. By the way, even among the achievements, something was explained about the 3 musketeers of the new generation, right? Should I ask Kai Jong? Iha thought and opened his friends list. Kai Jong. I wrote to my brother and Ha. Ki John. He texted again, but Master K never answered. If he doesn't answer, then he's out hunting now, thought Iha. Let's look at the list of friends. What? Opening the list and Ha saw where his friends are located. Templar Master K, the Narrow Gorge of Thivi. Sage Heian, Narrow Gorge of Thivi. Ninja Kuro Sasuke, the Narrow Gorge of Thiwi. Highlander Teal, Narrow Thiwi Gorge. All 4 of them are in the Narrow Thivi Gorge. It looks like he's with the guild members. If I joined a guild, it would be convenient to create a team. Thought Iha and noticed that his old acquaintances are also in the same place as his brother. Ram Hwa John Cryomancer Thivi Narrow Gorge. Pyromancer Ram Hwa Yon Thivi Narrow Gorge. Oh, it can't be. Don't you? I hope so, huh? Meanwhile, in the Narrow Gorge of Thivi, Master K's guild hunted the 2 sisters. We've got them cornered. The Ram sisters are running away. Let's get inside the Thivi Gorge. We ask for help. Messages in the group's general chat were playing. Surround us. They said that the Night Knights will also come soon. The guild master commanded. He turned to his ninja assistant and said, Sasuke, send a separate unit to the escape route. Got it, Sasuke said and disappeared. Ranged attack DD of 5 people per location. Healers apply the speed boost buff to DD. He shouted at the healers. Got it. The dark-robed mages responded. Teal Hyan Nim, go chase. The master swordsman sent for the sisters. Yes, I said. The swordsman said and disappeared. There are no escape routes in the narrow Thivi Gorge. Sasuke will close the path where the sisters can escape just in case, so we have to corner them. The villain master pondered over his villainous plan. Te, lead a squad of tanks. Stop it, he commanded Kaijon. Got it, Kaijon said, and set off with the other Templars. We have more than 60 people with a good level. Even Ram-Hwa Jong herself won't be able to break through such an encirclement. This time, we'll finally be able to finish them off. It is worth blocking teleportation. However, in this, the Mad Guild Master started chanting a magic spell. Hear ye, these four corners offer a small spark. Closing references. A bright beam shot up from the glowing circle around the master, and Kaijon saw it and knew what had happened. Great. He and Hyun blocked the teleportation. Now they can't escape. Rejoiced Kaijon while chasing Ram-Hwa Jong. Up ahead, he noticed something. Unity of cold cones. Thurnu pillars of destruction. Ice blast. The Cryomancer cast a spell and huge shards of ice flew at the Templars. Master K defended himself with his shield. Amidst the icy dust, Kaijon saw the silhouette of a small girl. Ha, long time no see. Ice Mage, Ram-Hwa Jong. Master K said. Chapter 29. Distance 70 meters. Tanks, keep your distance. Master K commanded the Templars. Around him were knights in head-to-toe armor and held up huge shields. Ram-Hwa Jong wasted no time in casting another spell. Ice spears, sharp spears made of ice flew at the tanks. Defensive formation. Master K responded. It was difficult for the Templars to hold such a strong spell. Hold on. Master K's commanding officer shouted at them. Ice spears stabbed at their shields at full speed. Some fell without being able to hold on. Damn it, she shoots hundreds of ice spears at the same time. Kay fumed. Then, suddenly, flames burst out. Most of the Templars flew away, but Kay stayed on his feet. With a fiery explosion, destroy the ice blocks we were defending against. I used the fire skill. While Master K was thinking, Big Sister Ram, a pyromancer, appeared out of nowhere and grabbed her little sister's hand. Hwa Jong, hurry up. The girls were running deeper into the gorge. Fire Mage Ram-Hwa Yon. That's how a low-level scum attacks, right? We already have guild members who have exited the game after death. Kaijon was furious. Line up in a row. Keep the damage to a minimum and move forward. Master K gave the order and ran after the sisters with his squad. Okay, that's enough. Even though the losses were heavy, we still managed to corner the Ram sisters. Everything is going according to he and Hyun's plan. However, you cannot relax. Be that as it may. That blue-haired little thing in the world ranking is on the 9th place. We don't know what else she's doing. Master K's thoughts were interrupted by the Cryomancer conjuring a huge ice wall that blocked the Templar's path as she ran. A wall of ice appeared out of nowhere and K was dumbfounded. Blocked the path with ice. K thought, I've been thinking ... that such a ploy will stop us. Kaijon started hitting the ice wall with his shield as hard as he could. Break the ice with your shields. Hurry up before they go too far. Master K ordered. Although there were only a few Templars left, they were eager to rush into battle against such a strong opponent, and broke the ice wall with all their might. Kaijon was furious. I can't believe that on the move she was able to say and create such a strong ice wall. That's what 9th place in the top of the world means. Kaijon mused. But even so, I'm not a finger-made one either. Kaijon hit the wall with all his might and it collapsed before he realized what was happening. Ram-Hwa Jong was already standing in front of him. Ram-Hwa Jong, why doesn't she run away? He thought, and immediately the girl flew up in the air and said, a squall. Blinded by rage and anger, the Templar did not immediately realize that he had fallen under another attack. Spell sequence. Then something scratched his face. He and his entire team were attacked, but no weapons were seen. Something cut them in different places and caused a lot of pain. Chegoo. Why does XP crash? Seeing the glint in the air, Master K understood. Pieces from the ice wall. With the help of the ice fragments, she used Njegi. Got it? K. Note, Njegi, a technique that is used after the enemy is hit by damage from the first attack. It is the link with the first attack that helps create Njegi. Such an attack is used as a deadly weapon. This is truly incredible. However, this makes me increasingly dislike her. Master K thought. By this time, the Ram sisters had already run away, leaving behind the defeated Templars. In Ailstock, Yeehaw tried to call his younger cousin. Kaijon, man. What are you doing that still won't answer me? Maybe I'm worrying unnecessarily. He is still in the narrow Thivi Gorge. Well, even though they are in the same location, it's not a fact that they intersect with each other, even if one zone in Midrose is huge in itself. Yeehaw was nervous, remembering how much Kaijon hated the Ram sisters. Or not. Even though I'm worried that Kaijon isn't responding, I think it's okay. At the same time in the narrow gorge of Thivi, we've cornered them as planned, Templar Master K reported. The girls were really cornered. In front of them was K with 2 Templars, and behind him was the entire guild. Looks like it's time for a conversation now, the guild master began. I suggest we settle everything in words. Why do you keep running away? What is it? He asked his sisters. In words. We have nothing to talk about, the sisters replied. What's that supposed to mean? I've sent you several letters regarding donations to Dale Castle, the master continued. Why are you interested in me donating my own money to Dale Castle? The pyromancer sister asked irritably. Well, why is that? It was the castle where we first worked. Don't you know that the Pelcho Guild was working on Dale Castle? The guild master replied. Why did you abandon all the popular cities and get so attached to this small citadel? Did not stop the guild master. Do I need permission from someone like you to ask for donations? HWA Young replied dryly. The guild master, who was hiding behind the Templars and Kai John, continued. Choose the words, Ram. Do you realize how many people are here right now because of you? All these people brought donations to Dale Castle. No matter how hard and how much you don't make donations, if you are on the second place, it is equivalent to spending money in the void. There's no benefit, you know. In other words, the winner takes everything, said the guild master. If you continue to spend so much money, then we will have nowhere to even step. HWA Yon interrupted his explanation with a comment. But you can just invest more money, can't I? She asked innocently, much to the anger of the crowd in front of her. It's not so easy. There are such things as understanding and negotiation between both sides. Moreover, you use the money that you earn in reality, and you don't properly manage the money that you received in Midrose, do you? All this is because you are the daughters of a family that owns a large enterprise. In the game, you are very proud of your money. Pressed by the guild master. The game. Arrogance of money. What nonsense is that? This is a business. Have you ever seen a company waste money? HWA Yon smiled. I won't talk too long. We will pay the price, so we ask you to give us the rights regarding Dale Castle. The guild master threatened. And if we refuse, will you try to kill us? HWA Young laughed. Just kill him. Midrose is a very realistic game. Something worse than death can happen here, isn't it, Ram? HWA Yon. The guild master said sarcastically. His whole face fell in anger and he took a step forward. You fucking prick. HWA Young was angry. Chapter 30. HWA Jong. The pyromancer turned to her sister. Got it, Unni, HWA Jong said, and held out her hand to cast a spell. From this action, the guild master was very frightened and convulsively hid behind his tanks. HWA Young lowered her hand and there was an awkward silence. Ugh, I thought she was going to create a spell. What a damn shame. The guild master thought. -10 people who were on the escape route were eliminated. HWA Jong said. What kind of nonsense is this? She was standing right in front of us the whole time. The master was angry. The 44 men who are taking up positions at the front are all that are left, HWA Jong reported. 44. The older sister pondered. Less than I thought. Koreans, HWA Young asked. The master, who heard their conversation, was even angrier. What the fuck is this nonsense? He thought. HWA Young created fire in her hand. I told you not to underestimate me. Fire arrow. HWA Young shot a huge pillar of fire into the sky. What is she up to? Why shoot fire arrows into the sky? Does it send a signal for help? Well, anyway, we've blocked teleportation beforehand so no one will see it. Moreover, Sasuk's group is on the way out. They couldn't have been killed. The guild master decided and turned to the Ram sisters, confident that he was right. A futile bluff. Don't mess with our brains, he shouted as he stepped out from behind the Templars. Who can get rid of a level 212 dark ninja? The guild master thought. It would be nice if you would accept my offer humbly. But things have become more complicated. There is nothing left but to let you feel shame, and shame, which are much more terrible than death. The guild master grinned ominously. Squad, preparing a spell. The guild master gave the order. Stop now, someone said, and the entire guild master's army, as well as himself, was in a critical state, with accompanying painful effects. The critical condition. Tai Jong shouted in pain. Pillars, what are you doing? Hurry up, the guild master shouted. Critical condition. I think it's impossible to do this for Ram. HWA Jong. How did this happen? Thought the master. One of the Templars suddenly called out to him, pointing at the cliff above. Guild master, look over there. There on the cliff. The guild master raised his head and saw a huge army on the cliff. Those in front of them were holding a flag. This flag, the Golden Dragon Guild. The master remarked as he saw a flag with the image of a fearsome mythical creature fluttering in the wind. The closest was a guy with black hair and a long ponytail pulled back just below the nape of his neck. He was wearing a white tank top with no sleeves, a wide red belt with a gold clasp in the shape of a dragon's head, and black pants, also with the image of a golden dragon. On his hands were combat gloves and shields in gold shades. But the Ram Hwa Jong and Golden Dragon clans have been feuding all this time. Why are these assholes here? Really? Is this an alliance between Great China players? Guildmaster Pelcho was horrified. A guy with a ponytail jumped down from a sheer cliff. The Golden Dragon Guild is one of the strongest in Asia in terms of number and level of players. Now there are about 200 people gathered here, not even more than 300. Powerful concentration of power. It's dangerous. The master analyzed the situation. The guy landed on the ground with a powerful kick. Hello, nice to meet you gentlemen Koreans. I'm a martial artist from the Golden Dragon Guild. My name is Fu, politely greeted the guy, folding his hands so that the palm covered the fist. Master Fu was ranked 4th in the world, 2nd in Asia, and 1st in China. The Golden Dragon clan. Fu flashed through the mind of the guildmaster, and to put it mildly, he was horrified. Fu, he also has the 4th place in the world ranking. What's this guild doing here? What's going on anyway? Users started gossiping. It looks like their conflict is settled. Well, the fire arrows shot into the sky were indeed a signal for help. Ram Hwa Yon gives them money, and the Golden Dragon lends them his powers. So, no, I think both guilds benefit. That is, they are not mercenaries, but an alliance. Hell, it'll be a waste of supplies if we just run away. If I don't eat it, I'll chop off a piece. Decided the revenge of the Pelcho Guild. Are you few from the Golden Dragon Guild, by any chance? What brings you here? The Pelcho Guild had no business with the Golden Dragon clan. The guild master spoke with feigned cordiality. I really don't have anything to do with you. However, I cannot allow you to harm Ram Hwa Yon and Ram Hwa Jong. Fu replied no less politely. Damn it, they pinned us down properly. The guild master was upset, not knowing what to do. What is the relationship between the Ram sisters and the Golden Dragon? The guild master asked with a tight smile. You don't have to know that. Listen to my suggestions. First, get out of here. Second, don't start any more arguments about the Dale Castle case. If you keep these 2 points, I will answer okay to everything. I'll accept anything, whether it's a battle in the future or a guild war declaration. However, if you again cowardly step on our heels and blackmail us like this time, know that there will be no forgiveness. Ram Hwa Yon declared in a commanding tone. Damn it, heck, these bitches decided to show leniency. Because of the Golden Dragon clan, the battle of opinions will not be profitable for us, thought the master. You've been thinking about Sage Heian for a long time. Are you really going to go against us? If that's the case, then we'll do our best and deal with the Pelcho Guild savagely, Fu said, pointing menacingly at the superiority of both the number and strength of the armies. Hwa Young chimed in and coquettishly said, Fu, they just need to keep 2 promises, so why bother? I think you're right, Ram Hwa Yon, Fu said, smiling. There were already conversations among the Pelcho Guild. No matter how you look at it, the war with the Golden Dragon Guild will be too much for us, right? How do we handle so many? The players were gossiping. Kick, checkmate. These bitches are far from finger made. The guild master was angry. What's your answer? Master Heian of the Pelcho Guild. Fu asked menacingly. Okay. We whiff. Before Guildmaster could reply, there was an explosion, followed by shouts from the direction of the cliff where the Golden Dragon army was stationed. Everyone looked in the same direction. They died. No, then the color would change to ash, and everyone would have to leave the game. Then what is that red glow? The guild master thought. Ram Hwa Young stared at the glow in confusion. Is this really the work of these sisters? The guild master decided, but when he saw the pyromancer mage's face, he understood everything. Even Ram Hwa Young doesn't understand what's going on. And he smiled nastily. Hwa Jong, get ready. Fu shouted sharply. The ice mage hid her sister behind her. Unni, stay in the back. What happened, Fu? Hwa Young asked. He's here, Fu replied seriously. Him? Who are you talking about? Guildmaster Pelcho asked. The berserker has arrived, Fu said, and a huge creature with a chainsaw sword and red eyes appeared on the cliff face. Yo, that's where you're all gathered, Berserk said. Chapter 31. The Berserker. Huge Igor, 3rd place in the world ranking. I was wondering why no one had stopped me hunting for several days. So it's because you all came running here, Berserk said. It was huge and covered in fur. The Great Cross, the Berserker said, and abruptly raised his chainsaw sword above him. After guessing the Berserker's future actions, Fu said. TC immediately turns into a wolf. While the leader of the Golden Dragon was assessing the danger of the Berserker and preparing for battle, Guildmaster Pelcho decided to seize the moment. Kai, he screamed angrily in his not quite healthy head, and then gave the command. Pelcho, Dragon Knights, flash kill Ram HWA Yon with Ram HWA John and leave immediately. Everyone attack. And the Pelcho Knights, along with Kai Jong, rushed to carry out the order of their reckless master. Meanwhile, in the capital of the Kingdom of Pubil, Ailstock City, Yeehaw was trying to figure out what was going on. It looks like Kai Jong is very busy since he still hasn't answered me. And it is still in the Phivi Gorge. Yeehaw thought as he sat on the bench and looked at the friend list window. I wanted to ask him a couple of questions about Bezbrov. Maybe it would be easier to ask the NPC. Yeehaw decided and went to the nearest tavern. When he opened the door and walked in, a cat-eared waitress greeted him. "You're welcome," she said to the new customer. "I think there will be some NPCs in such an inn who have some information." Yeehaw thought, and was walking towards the back of the inn when he suddenly heard the guests talking. "Hey, did you hear that too? You're talking about what's causing all the hype on the internet right now when you heard that something serious happened in the Phivi Gorge. Ram HWA Jong, Phew, and Igor had a big battle. They say it's utter chaos. Only the dead over 200 people have already passed. In addition to the fact that the Split Dragon clan intervened in the battle, some Korean guild was also dragged in. If there's a Split Dragon guild and a huge one, I think I understand the reason for the fight. Recently, Chinese players have prevented Igor from raising his level. The Golden Dragon Guild probably pulverized him this time. Bad luck for the Korean clan, which got involved in all this mess." Yeehaw listened attentively to the conversation of the customers. "I'm sure by Korean guild they mean Pyeongchung. Is Kai Jong okay?" To make sure, Yeehaw checked online to see if his younger brother and his guild mates were online. Thank God, online. However, I'm a little worried that he's still in the gorge. While Yeehaw was thinking, all of a sudden, the players who were present until recently started disappearing from the network in order. Sasuke, offline, only recently I was online. Notice, Templar Master K logged out, Highlander TL logged out, Pyromancer Ram HWA Yon logged out. What's going on? First you need to log out and ask Ki-Jon about everything. Yeehaw decided, and immediately exited the game. When he woke up in his room, the first thing he did was call his brother. "Kai Jong, what happened? Are you okay?" Yeehaw asked worriedly. "Hyung, I'm sorry I didn't say anything. I'm a little exhausted." Kai Jong's voice was weak. "There is so much noise on the internet. Did you fight too? Are you okay? Worried about your brother too, huh? The players that are in the world ranking are very strong. So much so that the fear is already creeping through. Hyung, you should also take a quick nap so you don't have to face something like this. From now on, I'll only focus on leveling up. I'm very tired, so I'll go to bed. See you later, Hyung." Kai Jong replied. His voice wasn't very good and it felt like he was going through a shock. Yeehaw started flipping through the game's newsfeed to understand what had happened to his little brother. What the hell happened to Kai Jong? Comments in the network. Whoa, is that even possible? Single-handedly kill more than 100 players. Haha. Few's movements are amazing. I'm also a martial artist, but I get goosebumps. Ram HWA Jong is so cute, and her spells are just god level. Attached is a full video of the battle in the narrow Phivi Gorge. Video. Is that it? Yeehaw opened the video that started with the appearance of the Berserker. Video. What is it? Judging by the number of deaths, it's a Berserker. Huge Igor. Kaila. The huge Igor who transformed into a wolf immediately cut one of the knights into pieces. Red light immediately after death. Huge absorbs red light. We met his eyes. Heading this way. An ordinary member of the Golden Dragon Guild shouted. A huge berserk beast was running towards him. A bloodthirsty player, merciless and soul-sucking. At the very last moment, Phew pulled the guy out from under the edge of his chainsaw sword. The huge Igor paused for a moment and glared viciously at the martial artist as he asked, "Who else are you? Do you want to interfere with me?" Phew said nothing. His gaze was directed towards Ram HWA Young and her sister who were fighting against the Pelcho Guild. Noticing this, Igor also turned to see where the young fighter's gaze was directed. Kai. I was wondering where you were looking right through me. Those girls are your weak spot. The huge Igor leaped off the cliff and headed for the Ram sisters. Damn it. Ram HWA Yon, watch out. Phew shouted, and Ram HWA Jong reacted instantly. Stay behind me, Undi. She pushed her sister back. Ice Willow. The ice mage cast a spell, and suddenly huge trees began to appear and stretch up around her. Ice willows. It's Ram HWA Jong's ice magic. What are these giant willows? Destroy these trees first. All members of Pelcho unite. The guild that attacked the sisters didn't doze off either. Noticing the defense, the berserker regrouped and swung his sword at the guild members with all his might. What bullshit again? Why is he attacking us? Didn't he fight with Fu? The guild master did not understand and trembled with fear. Suddenly, there was an explosion, and a moment later, a berserker appeared from behind a pillar of dust. Asian suckers, why are you so identical? He asked, looking at the Korean guild with extreme bloodthirstiness. Chapter 32. Why do you all look the same? The berserker raised his chainsaw sword. You'll see, he shouted, and slammed his fist down on the trunk of an ice willow. Nothing serious had happened to the tree, just a sword dent. Withstood my blow. Damn solid. I think it will be better to deal with these Asian assholes than to try to destroy a block of ice, the berserker said, and with his sword outstretched, he strode towards the Pelcho guild. Kaijong bravely issued commands and stood firmly on his feet, while many tanks and other Sigildians were shaking with fear, including the guild master himself. Tanks, everyone protect the guild master. Keep stro. Before Master K could finish his sentence, the berserker had already destroyed 2 of his tanks. Kaijong panicked. Did you kill 2 tanks in one fell swoop? He said in horror. Kayahaha, I will consume them all. The berserker was already unstoppable, killing one by one. He absorbed every member of the guild that was in this meat grinder. Bloody, the huge Igor started to say, but the martial artist Fu called out to him. Where are you going? Fu flew up behind the berserker at full speed and slammed it into the rock with a single kick. From this sight, the Korean players almost dropped their jaws. Hoo. Huge Igor. Attack, Fu said, getting into position. What's this? Berserk lit up. The battle had begun. Their movements were so fast that all you can see with the human eye are flashes from the destruction of rocks. Here and there, Fu fights a berserker, are the 3rd and 4th places in the world ranking fighting each other, so fast that you can't keep up. The newly rescued knights of the Pelcho guild watched with delight. Fu, let's go. Now is not the time to watch the fight. Grab the Ram sisters first. The guild master, who was obsessed with these sisters for some reason, gave the command. But, Willow, thousands of ice spears kept falling from the tall ice trees. It's fucking risky to even approach, the Sigildian said, but the Highlander the Inn was the first to go into battle and carry out orders from his superiors. He ran with his katana unsheathed. Ice arrows grazed his body, dealing damage, but he didn't give up and almost reached the sisters hiding in the makeshift forest of ice trees. Sorry girls, please don't resist, Tian shouted as he attacked them. No, HWA Yon, HWA Jong. Fu was startled when he noticed this action. T swung and used his sword. But then, unexpectedly for the swordsman himself, he felt that something was holding his sword. When he opened his eyes, he saw that the branches of the willow tree had tightly gripped and bound his sword. A magic trap. Damn, I can't believe that such a thin ice branch is holding back my blade. A dumbfounded swordsman stood there, trying to free his sword from the trap. Then he heard a scream behind him. You scum. You don't seem to know what mercy is. How dare you target HWA Young when we helped you during the attack? Fu was walking toward him menacingly. Kai, am I the target of Fu? Even if he is on the 3rd place in the world ranking. But I, a mountaineer, have a wider scope than Boo. Before the Highlander could swing, Fu kicked him in the ribs. Huo, the Highlander dropped his sword. Seeing this, Kai Jong ran to his aid. Theilhyungnnim. Master K shouted. Fu was standing in front of a fallen mountaineer. Please become a person who knows the concept of nobility, the martial arts master said and jumped up in another attack. At the last moment, T-Il is saved by Kai Jong. Shield strike. Blocks from the attack of the martial arts master. Blocked it, but I won't be enough for the 2nd time. After assessing the situation, he grabbed his friend's body and ran as fast as he could. We need to get out of here, Kai Jong thought. The Chinese master did not like the Templar's audacity. You dared to meddle in an impudent situation, he said, and just as he was about to attack the Templar, a berserker suddenly approached him. You're right, said the huge Igor. Moving to a safe distance, Kai Jong tried to help his friend. Come to your senses, Teilhyungnam. Hyung, just be patient, I'll find some healers. Behind Kai Jong, the Chinese martial artist slammed into the wall at full speed with a crash. A huge Igor was walking through his soul, and he was laughing ominously. Hoo. The blood of these small fish is not enough for me, said Igor. Chapter 33. The blood of these small fish isn't enough for me. I need more. The berserker was looking towards Kai Jong and his friend who was lying on the ground. Blood, he kept repeating as he got closer and closer to Master K. Shut up, Kai Jong shouted and held up his shield convulsively. With a single flick of his hand, the huge Igor took down the guy's shield and grabbed him by the throat. Damn it, I recently spent all my defense points. Moreover, our power difference. It's too big. Kai Jong was in a desperate situation. The berserker lifted him high off the ground and pressed down harder and harder on his neck. Blood. I need more blood, the berserker said as he pointed his sword at Kai Jong. The Templar resisted with his last strength, trying to escape, but Igor's strength and the fear that paralyzed the Templar's body did not allow him to do anything. In the blink of an eye, Kai Jong was stabbed with a sword and killed. No, KHY, shouted Kai Jong. In Wu and Ha's room, after reviewing everything up to the time of Kai Jong's murder, Ha analyzed. Berserk, huge Igor, a level 260 giant, can transform into a werewolf. In the warp state, his physical strength is gradually depleted, so he replenishes it with the help of monsters or players. I'm only level 26. So far, I can't beat Igor, whose level is 10 times higher than mine. It's hard to believe that Kai Jong, whose level was already close to reaching her 200th, suffered such a terrible death. It must have been very painful with the sync rate at 50%. The one who sent me to the world of Midros when I was already desperate for my inability to walk was Kai Jong. Such a Kai Jong. He was killed so painfully. Huge Igor, I'll tear you to pieces. Angry and Ha, because of the way his brother was treated. He picked up a game helmet. From now on, I'll level up like hell. It's the only way I can keep up with this fucking berserker. Huge Igor, wait for me. Ha was angry and determined to become stronger at all costs in order to take revenge on the berserker. What was out of the video in the gorge? Save me. Help. Let's get out of here. Kaya, 2TUDLA. As the sisters hid behind the icy trees, there were cries for help from the other side of the barricade. What's going on there? What happened? And where did Few go? All because of that fucking stinking freak. Berserk and Few. If it was a one-on-one fight, you could try it. But now the best option is to run away from here. HWA Young nervously thought about the situation and decided to leave. HWA Jong, I need an ear. The older sister didn't have time to finish her sentence when she saw HWA Young chanting a spell. An ice crystal that I gave birth to in order to betray hearts. HWA Young hovered above the ground, concentrating the bluish light in her hands. She turned to her sister and said, I'm sorry, but you need to die. HWA Young only sat down on the ground in annoyance. Ugh, well, I'd rather die than you. No, she said, but in return, destroy them all. The younger one replied, and a whole whirlwind of ice began to rise up. Both the berserker and even the guild master Pelcho had already realized what was going on. Enemy in front of me. HWA Jong finished the spell. Stop her. If she uses this spell, we're all dead. The guild master shouted. It's too late, you fools. HWA Young said with a smile. The ice vortex froze everyone who was there. HWA Young took a deep breath and said before disappearing, I'll see you in 48 hours. In Ailstock, come back again. Yes, good sales to you. Iha said as he left the shop on Ailstock's shopping street. I got 4 gold coins from the equipment I picked up earlier. The musket that is sold in the shop costs 3 gold coins. Too expensive. Then I will raise the level with the weapons that are already in the EU. Iha was thinking, but then someone called out to him. I'm sorry, the gentleman in the red leather robe. Someone called out to him. Red skin. Is this about me? Iha thought, but then the guy caught up with him and said with a smile, I finally found you. Remember me? The musketeer didn't remember. Who? You? Asked Iha. And if I do you remember? The user said and put up 2 shields. Iha instantly recalled the flower commander from the battle with the bear. The player with 2 shields who was in the bear field. The commander changed his tone and asked bluntly, you took the loot and left. Iha didn't understand the question, or rather, he didn't understand why he was being asked such things. Cape, boots, shaka, aren't these the items that fall out of Oso's agony? And everything that fell from other players? Did you get some too? The commander asked menacingly. What kind of nonsense is he talking about, suddenly appearing out of the blue? I don't know what you're talking about. Wow, I'm not in a good mood either. Ha tried to brush him off, but the commander wouldn't let up. Don't lie to me, you bastard. Do you even know how I worked my ass off to find you? Yes, the network is pouring shit on me. I was able to find you after watching the video several hundred times. If a low-level musketeer picked up items and dumped, then he's probably hanging around the academy or the shopping streets right now. The commander blurted out. So what? Iha asked. What are you going to do? Then I was the first to offer to join the team. And when I asked for help, you just left me and left. The musketeer said angrily. What? The commander did not understand. While you were picking up the surviving team members and making your way, I fought the monster alone. Almost dying myself. Iha said, but Commander Flower still didn't believe him. How did a low-level player like you manage to kill a bear? What is it? He asked. Isn't that enough proof? Iha asked, pointing at his things. If you want to say that I didn't kill the monster, show the proofs, and if there are no proofs, then just fill them up. The musketeer replied rudely. Okay, even if I don't want to, I'll accept the fact that you caught Oso. However, you should return all the items that fell from other players. The commander ran over him again. When you die, items drop out of you, and you can't connect to the game for 48 hours. Why would I return items that I don't even know the owners of? Iha replied in a calm tone. But the commander got mad and started shouting and openly threatening. Hey, you, what's your level? A noob like you doesn't dare be impertinent to me. So if I say take out the items, stick your tongue up your ass and give them to me. He shouted at Iha. I'm getting mad. Stop barking. Get out of here, Iha said menacingly. Chapter 34. Commander Flower's words sent blood rushing to his head. Yes you. Do you even know what guild I'm from if you're showing off like that? He showed an unknown coat of arms on the back very similar to a flower. I don't care. Get lost already. Iha answered without hesitation, then turned around and started walking away. If you get on my nerves anymore, I'll call a squad of Holy Knights. Iha threatened. What? The Holy Knight squad is your friend? Phil asked, annoyed. Iha smiled as he continued on his way. Oh, you're asking if they're my friends? Well, actually, no, but it won't be a problem to call them. Thought Iha and quickly broke into a run, running away from the commander. Hey, you freak. Wait a minute. Hey idiot. How much longer are you going to run? To me you need just hoo catch him. Hoo, fuff, damn, ho. I can't keep up with him. The commander tried to chase Iha at first, but soon couldn't catch up with him and was completely exhausted, while our main character ran away with flashing heels. Meanwhile, Iha was looking through his glasses. Dexterity minus 247. Simply unthinkable. That's why the guy couldn't catch up with me. If I didn't have bonuses, I would only have reached 246 dexterity points at level 47, Iha said. But then he remembered Berserk. However, Igor who killed Kaijon is level 260, and I only have the 26th. First, level up. Go to Mount Seymour, level up like hell. Iha cheered up and ran towards the picturesque snow-capped mountains. By the way, when will I solve the problem with the lunchbox? Well, although the end of the quest is still a month away, so you can still exhale. Iha decided to postpone the Sacred Grill quest. Let's go to the foot of Seymour. I'm a level 31 tank. Invite me. Team up mages for a raid against mountain worms. Must have level 25. Looking for a ranged DD to hunt kobold warriors. Level 40 is required. One more person and we're off. Approaching the mountain, Iha met a huge number of players gathering in teams for different raids. By the way, where does the head of the kobolds live? I came here without any information. While I was hiding from the Kim Flower, I completely forgot about it. Musketeer scratched his turnips. I was ordered to single-handedly capture the strongest boss on the hunting ground, even though I'm still below level 30. What does Bezrov have in mind at all? Before I kill the head of the kobolds, I'll raise my level to level 29. Decided and not far away. A user in knight's armor was advertising his team and looking for another person. We're heading for the entrance to Haywit Farm. Sorry, DD ranged attack. Would you like to hunt with us? Together with us, there is also a beautiful hiller. Iha had just noticed the guy's declaration when someone called out to him. Excuse me, the man with the pole-shaped weapon on his back. A pole. He's talking about me. The musketeer turned around. Wow, that's a real gun. So you're a ranged attack DD. The huge knight asked. Yes, Iha replied. Master, what is your level? We're going to go in a team of 3. Will you reach the required level to climb to the top of Mount Seymour? The knight asked. Iha was silent and then answered. I'm level 41. Oh, level 41 is just a class. The knight rejoiced. Where's the third man? If I'm a DD and you're a tank, then. Iha began. Oh, you mean the beautiful hiller. Immediately understood the knight. Hana-chan, I found DD. The knight shouted towards the crowd, waving his arms. The girl's small hand emerged from the crowd. Yeah. No, she said. Hana, that. Thought and was confused and as they were already approached by a girl, a beautiful hillier. Hana-chan was dressed as a nun and wore a short square of hair over her jet black hair. How do you do? My name is Mame Hana. She greeted with a sweet smile. Oh, sister. She looks so sophisticated. Iha blushed deeply. I didn't lie, did I? Hana-chan is just a beauty, the knight smiled. Yes, Iha said. Ma-chan, come on. The nun sister was embarrassed. Maybe it's because the girls I met before were either fierce or cold. Remembered the two sisters Ram Ha and Ha. That's why Hana's type is amazing to me. Wu and Ha thought. Then we'll introduce ourselves officially. My name is Matsu Shige. I'm level 42. I'm a knight. Ma Chan introduced himself. Name Khan's sister. I have the 40th level. The girl smiled sweetly. I have level 41. I am a musketeer named Ha and Ha. Ha replied. The team was assembled. On your way, then? The knight asked as he adjusted his helmet, and the three of them went hunting. They were walking across a green field, through tall grass. Wait, whispered the knight and motioned for everyone to sit down. There are 2 kobold workers in the 10 o'clock direction. We go around to the left. The knight began to command. So we're not going to kill them? Ha asked in surprise. We need to conserve our stamina. The knight replied. And I need to gain experience. Ha thought and stopped everyone. Wait a minute. You both don't know how a musketeer fights, do you? Both men nodded vigorously in response. Anyway, it's better for us to learn how to work as a team first before climbing the mountain, right? Ha asked again. Well, yes, the nun mumbled uncertainly, and Ha told them the essence of his hunting and musket work in general terms. Having learned all the basics, the musketeer's new companions turned away and held out a skeptical hand. It takes a lot of time. Ha ha. And Ha lay down on the grass and had fun. The nun asked, what is your firing range? -100, more precisely 50 meters. Ha replied, it's a weapon. Why is the range less than an arrow? The knight quipped, right, I think it's really small. Ha replied in a disappointed tone. The Hiller girl chimed in. Ma Chan, it's tactless to say that. The girl said with a smile. I'm sorry if I hurt you, the knight asked in embarrassment. That's why the musketeers are unpopular. Ha thought. I'll get their attention. Don't worry, Tank said. Attract attention. Ha thought. I don't know, the musketeer said, and pulled the trigger. A gunshot rang out. Ha's companions were startled. I'm sorry, I should have told you beforehand that the sound of the gunshot was loud enough. Haha, and so much smoke. I begged your pardon and Ha. Oh, that's all right. By the way, my mother is dear. Hana-chan, did you see this? The knight asked the nun. And you, what are you talking about? The girl clarified, and the knight decided to show everything in the vicinity. They were standing by the corpse of Ha, who had just been shot with a musket. My goodness, kill a kobold with 1 shot. The girl was surprised looking at the monster's corpse. The wind blew the petals of the trees in the air, and blue sparks were emitted from the corpse. Mr. Ha and Ha. The knight suddenly turned to the musketeer. Are you definitely level 41? He asked directly, and Ha was taken aback. Well, what is it? He mumbled. Did he understand my level deception? Scared and Ha. Mr. Ha and Ha. And you by chance ... not a high-level player who wants to forget us. Is this some kind of smurfing experience? Ma Chang asked in all seriousness. Ma Chan, this is the first time I've seen a kobold that's been dealt with in 1 hit. Did you notice how the other kobold just skipped out without even looking at how many of us there were? The Hiller nun was happy. While the companions were so hotly discussing the kobold's death with a single shot, Ha heaved a sigh of relief. My low level wasn't revealed. By the way, what is smurfing? The girl asked her friend. In a different way, Boost. This is when you are helped by players who have a high level. The knight replied succinctly. High level player Ha and Ha. The nun asked them. Not really, thought smiling Ha. Please take care of us. The guys asked nicely, thinking that Ha is one of the more experienced players. Chapter 35. There was a crash. Something huge was crawling out of the ground and climbing back in at high speed. Watch out, the mountain worm is out. The knight shouted to his companions. The mountain worm was an impressive size and had 3 rows of teeth inside its mouth. The worm attacked and Ha. Protection. The nun put down her shield, but it didn't hold. The beast could have already swallowed the musketeer, but the latter did not hesitate and shot him right in the mouth. The monster was defeated. Standing by his corpse, the musketeer reflected on something he had noticed relatively recently. It's kind of weird, since recently, he's been constantly directing monsters at me. And he knows when the mountain worms come out. Not happening, Ha thought. Then the knight interrupted his thoughts. Mr. Ha and Ha, are you alright? What is it? He asked, approaching the musketeer. Mr. Matsushige, can we talk for a moment? Ha asked. Something made the knight nervous. He asked. Are you sure you're a tank? Ha asked directly. Yes, Mo Chang replied. Then why haven't you been attracting the attention of monsters since recently? The musketeer asked gravely. Oh, well. The knight hesitated. Okay, that could happen. However, you didn't even use your skills. What will you do if you don't know how to properly control the attraction of the monster? Are you trying to kill me? Ha asked. No, this is not true. That's not the reason I didn't use my skills. The knight started to justify himself. Who? So you're confirming that you didn't purposely ignore the skills? This is you, me. I don't really have any skills. The tank. The knight replied. Iha was horrified by what he heard. What? I couldn't even imagine such a thing. Thought in Ha. Knights aren't exactly a tank class. That's why we don't have a provocation skill to control the attraction of monsters. The knight admitted in embarrassment. Awesome. So if you're wearing armor, you don't necessarily have to be a tank. Iha was shocked by the information he received. Of course, I have an attack skill called Slash, which can attract the attention of monsters, but there is too much time between using it. The knight explained. Just one skill, so there's still time for a break. Angry and Ha. I also have a skill that allows me to take attack damage for taking the place of other team members. This is a defense skill. It's called knighthood, said Mo Chang. Thank God that at least there is such a skill. Iha was about to calm down when Mo Chang added. However, I can only use it to protect girls. The knight said. What's going on? Why is that? Iha was even angrier, and the nun was uncomfortable with these conversations. Such are the manners of chivalry. The Hillier nun said. So you can only use the Slash skill. Try to at least use it to control the attraction of monsters. I'll also slow down my attacks a bit. Oh, good. Thank you. And we'll do our best. Well, then I don't need to be so careful about the cooldown speed anymore. Thought in Ha. It's quite a wide area. There must be more than 100 houses there. They were looking at Haywood Farm. The larger the area, the easier it is to panic when the leader disappears. Thought in Ha. There's an old shaft inside that cave, isn't there? Yes, there is both a warehouse and a nursery there, so the security is very strong. It will be difficult to defeat it if the attackers are not a strike force. This location is good for hunting right now, but it's not a good place for targeted shooting. There are also many hiding places where the enemy can hide. Therefore, we need to find a more suitable point for firing my musket. So, well then, let's start the hunt. And Ha threw himself into the fray, and the three of them began to fight. Master Iha on the right. I'll draw attention, and you focus your firepower on the kobolds on the right. I'm using a skill. The knight shouted with the noblest of intentions, but the musketeer beat him to it and killed 2 kobolds with a single bullet. Just one shot. 2 at once. Let's go west to catch other monsters. Find a suitable place to shoot. Thought in Ha. How did you manage to deal with 2 monsters at the same time? Naturally, a bullet can pass through. Well, of course, the kobolds were right next to me, and I was shooting at close range. I think this is the reason for this result. Mr. Matsushige, do you happen to have a rope with you? Ropes? There is. And why? Kobolds have the intelligence that allowed them to build a farmstead. You kill me, little man. What are you doing? The captured kobold was saying. I knew it. They understand speech. Well, let's have a taste of you first before the interrogation. He tickled the kobold in every possible way. He's here now. Tickles the monster, right, Hana-chan? I'm not the only one who thinks so. This method is very effective. Get over it. Kaya ha. And Kabolre, the majestic hamlet of Hijit. Kaya. I'm torturing him so that he doesn't die or lose consciousness. Well, now let's get down to business. How do I call the ringleader? Kaya ha. Stop it, little man. I am a kobold of the majestic hamlet of Hayrit. I thought you'd be smarter. Do you repeat the same phrases? But that won't do. I'll kill you, and then I'll catch another kobold and interrogate it. Chapter. It doesn't come out unless it's some special case. Special occasion.